This program is rated SPG. It contains scenes with themes, language, violence, sex, horror, or drugs, which may not be suitable for children. Strong parental guidance is advised.
To be solved and a new story to be unfolded. So today we will be having special guests and they will be joining us in the next moments. But before that, I want to ask if any one of you is aware or know about the human rights violations. Do you know its effects? If not, then Talk It With Us is there to help you because we will be talking about a serious matter here in the Philippines, which is the human rights violations and its effects. And we will also be witnessing together the unfolding of the story and experience of a student about these issues. She is a student of Brent International School and was sexually abused by her professor. Let us welcome Ms. Isaiah de la Serna, a 23-years-old girl from Isabela, joining us today via Zoom with the presence of her lawyer and the medical professionals that could help her. Good morning and welcome to the Talk It With Us. If there are any questions that you don't feel comfortable with, you can refer to your lawyer. And if there are any questions that your lawyer feels that I'm incriminating you, Ms. De La Serna, she can freely stop me. So, Ms. De La Serna, can you tell us about yourself?
Hi po, my name is Isaiah de la Serna. I'm a college student of law, and I have two brothers and we three are orphans. At a young age po, I needed to work for my studies and as well as for my siblings, so I left them with my aunt there at the province while I study and work here in Manila.
Okay, so you're a student of Brent International School, am I right?
Yes po.
And this man who sexually abused you was your professor?
Yes po.
Was your relationship strictly professional or lumalabas din kayong dalawa?
May isang beses po nung ihatid niya po ako sa dorm namin galing sa school po. Doon lang po kami lumabas na magkasama.
So, there's a relationship?
Ako po, tumanggi po talaga ako na meron po kaming relasyon. Pero siya po, ini-insist or pinipilit niya talaga na meron.
So, were there any instances or other instances that he showed you some preferential treatment?
Yes po. Just like po na he insists in calling me by my first name. Kahit naman po, yung ibang estudyante po ay apelyido po yung tawag niya. And when he made me po the class beadle, kahit naman po maraming estudyante na mas deserving sa position na yon. And I really thought he did it kasi po magkakilala po kami. But akala ko lang po pala iyon hanggang sa nangyari po ang gabing iyon.
So I have known that this is your first time to speak out about this issue and what had happened to you. So is it okay to tell us on what happened that night?
Pumunta po ako sa kanya ng gabing iyon para magtanong tungkol sa gusto ko po magtanong tungkol sa grades ko kung bakit po ganun po yung nakuha ko. Natatanungin niyo po kung bakit ako nandun ng gabing iyon. Siguro kasalanan ko din po. Pero ang nasa isip ko nun, hindi po pwedeng ma-fail kasi hindi po ako mayaman para umulit ng klase. Hindi naman po ako namumulit ng pera. So hindi nasa po, nagalit po siya bigla. Tapos po tinakpan niyo po yung bibig ko po para po hindi na ako makahinga. At doon po, dali-dali ako pinasok sa bahay nila. Sinabi niya sa akin na batagan niya na akong gusto. At nagtitimpi raw siya sa akin. Hindi ko alam na gagawin niya yun sa akin. At hindi ko rin po in-expect na ganun ko parang nararamdaman niya po. Ginahasan niya po ako. Wala po akong magawa sabagat malakas po talaga siya. Nagmamakaawa po ako. May very long beses na po hindi niya po ako pinasalita. Naalala ko po yung mga sigaw niya na walang tutulong sa akin. Sinabi ko tama na pero hindi pa rin po siya tumigil. Sinunto ko po siya sinipa pero hindi pa rin po siya tumigil.
So paano ka nakahingi ng tulong noong gabing iyon?
So nagising po ako nun. Nalalakit po yung katawan ko dahil po sa pinagkagawa niya po. At habang po natutulog po siya, tahimik po akong lumabas at hinanap po yung cellphone ko na nasa kitchen po. Dali-dali po akong tumawag. Ewan ko sinong tinawagan ko. Basta Sinabi ko lang po yung lokasyon ko at kung anong nangyari sa akin. Doon po, sabi mo nakikipag-usap po ako. Nagising po siya, tinapon po yung cellphone ko. Sa sobrang galit po, sinakal niya po ako. Grabe po yung sakit na naramdaman ko po. Kaya nakita ko po yung kutsilyo na malapit sa akin. Na po ako nagdalawang isip na kunin yun at nasaksak ko po siya. At hindi ko rin po inaasahan na mangyari po yun. Pagkatapos nun po, nakita ko po siya, nakaandusay po. Puno ng dugot, hindi na huminga. At doon po dumating na rin po yung mga pulis.
It was good that you called the police and they immediately saved you. And I know it was very hard for you to tell these experiences and stories about this issue, and I'm so thankful for sharing it with the Talk It with us. And so, Miss De La Serna have shared with us the story about the incident happened in her life. Now, we will be talking to Attorney Desamero about this issue. Attorney Desamero, does this act of Miss De La Serna have committed is a self-defense or a crime? Because a lot of people have been curious about this.
If someone tries to harm you, you have the right back to fight and protect yourself. However, when you are fighting back and it leads to the death of your attacker, you may be charged with homicide. But in the case of Miss De La Serna, it was a justifiable homicide, which means that it is reserved for situations where an individual killed another in self-defense or similar circumstances. This really is not a legal charge, but rather a classification for which authorities can register an event where an individual was killed but no crime was committed.
Yes, attorney. Now, to all the people watching, it was clearly a self-defense and not a crime. And so the abuser is dead. What did the family of the abuser do?
We talked to them and they said that their son eloped a long time ago when he was 18. They didn't know that he would turn out to be like that. Somehow, they are blaming themselves for what happened and feel very sorry for Miss De La Serna.
One last question, attorney. What is your statement about to all the people that is victim blaming your client?
That is a very interesting question, Miss Basa, and people should know about this. Media is a big impact in the lives of a person, and what you're doing right now with Miss De La Serna is not helping her, but rather treating her that it was her fault. We need to help people understand that this is not a helpful reaction. This act of policing how women look and dress has been going around for so long. This draconian idea that women have to cover up in order not to be raped is disgusting, as if women's body exists to be inherently sexual. Women can wear whatever they please and never have to be afraid of being harassed or raped. Their bodies don't exist as some walking sexual exhibit that men can play with. What they do with how they dress and how they look is up to them. Whatever someone wears is not an invitation to degrade them. Sexual assault is never the victim's fault. Abuse is the conscious choice made by the abuser. Rape is rape, no matter the context.
Yes, attorney, you are so correct. And I hope that all the viewers out there that this would be an eye-opener for you to stop victim blaming. Thank you very much, Attorney Desamero, for answering my questions and letting people know about these things. Now, we have the two medical professionals that will give advice to Ms. De La Serna and to all people out there who had survived some violations or sexual abuses. Now, can you please introduce yourselves?
Good morning, my name is Doc Maureen Rose Mendoza.
Good morning, I am psychologist Meredith Angie Mendoza.
Good morning, Paige de Mendoza. So what can you say about the experiences and the stories that Ms. De La Serna stated a while ago and to the other victims of sexual abuse?
I think for survivors of sexual assault, this is really dredging up a lot of negative feelings. They might be feeling anxious because they're reminded about things that they haven't thought about. It's okay to be upset about this. It is a really understandable thing to feel upset about. It's really tough to see a person, and I think we know many of us can imagine ourselves in her shoes. Telling a story and not being believed about something so sensitive and so personal and so upsetting in terms of dealing with this news. A really critical piece is feeling those feelings and sitting with them and experiencing them and doing your very best, even though it's difficult, but you have to try.
Yes, and should Ms. De La Serna seek professional help for
Yes, of course, she should. Counseling is what's better for her as of now, because as what she stated earlier,
She still remembered what happened at that night and she is still haunted by it.
So why should she seek professional help for issues like this and needs counseling? How could it help those victims like her?
Seeking help reduces the cause and impact of illness and allows more people to thrive and flourish and contribute to a more positive society. It should be seen as a positive step, one that enhances health and well-being and happiness. Counseling can make a profound impact on the lives of individuals, families, and communities. This service helps people navigate difficult life situations.
So can you tell us the common effects of rape, and do these effects can lead to more serious injuries?
Rape can have psychological, emotional, and physical effects. These effects aren't always easy to deal with, but with the right help and support, they can be managed. There are many emotional and psychological reactions that victims of rape can experience. One of the most common is depression. Depression is a mixed disorder that occurs when feelings associated with sadness and hopelessness. It's normal for survivors to have feelings of sadness and happiness and hopelessness. You might have a difficult time coming forward about the possibility of depression because you are feeling down. If these feelings are interfering with your daily life, know that there is help available. You can also experience PTSD. It stands for Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. This disorder is also common for the victims of rape. It is an anxiety disorder that can result in traumatic event. It's normal for survivors of rape to experience feelings of anxiety, stress, or fear.
Yes, indeed. So I hope it really helped you a lot, Miss De La Serna. So is there anything you want to say to all the women and as well as men who were sexually abused, and to everyone who want to be aware about these issues?
Many people have suffered in silence with an experience of sexual assault and have been unwilling to come forward for these very reasons that we're seeing right now. So when we see all those skepticism and doubt and blames, those are the reasons why survivors wait decades to come forward. To change that, if we think that's a problem, we need to start being vocal about believing survivors and taking their experiences seriously, because a lot of people are suffering from these conditions as a result of an experience of sexual assault.
That feeling of shame is so overpowering, and this is so typical of most abuse victims, but abuse does not make abuse victims flawed. Healing is a long journey and always ongoing as new situations bring up old memories. One moment feeling, you feel like you've got it all conquered, and the next day, something else is thrown at you. Maybe a new story, or even a song, a meal, a renewed contract with someone from the past will bring up memories. The abuse becomes a part of the survivor's identity because there are actually permanent changes to the brain because of it. The need for a savior's unconditional love and acceptance is constant. Talking about it helps so much, and discovering how much our savior aches over what has happened to you helps immensely.
Yes, indeed. God can help us in a lot of things. And even though healing will take time, I know that with Him, anything is possible. Miss De La Serna, we are very thankful for giving us the trust and chance to cover up your experiences and stories, even though it was very hard for you. We would also like to thank Attorney De Somero, Paige De Mendoza, and Doc Mendoza for the important information about this issue. Again, I would like everyone to know that we should stop victim blaming, and we should know first what is the story before making some judgments and decisions. And just like the saying, don't judge the book by its cover, because we may not know what's inside of that book. And I believe that no one deserves to be a victim, and everything we do, it is based on the choices we made in our lives. So we must always think before we act. Once again, this is Nicole Joy Baza for talking